If the Arts Change proposal does go ahead, what will happen to the students who are currently enrolled in the affected papers?
So as part of the process of closing any program or course, the students who are enrolled in those programs and courses need to be appropriately considered. Some students will see different alternatives to complete their degree and find those acceptable. Some students will be taught out, and the College of Education has a wide range of programs that are being taught out at present. Other students will choose to go to another university where they think their needs will be better met. So there are many ways in which that can happen, and it is part of the university's responsibility to ensure that there are some viable choices available to students. If indeed we were never to close a program because a student was enrolled in it, then the university could never move forward and redeploy resources over time. So clearly there will always be some change, there will be some affected students, and that is not unique to this change proposal or change proposals in universities throughout New Zealand or indeed anywhere in the world.
Thank you. Furthermore, following on in terms of change, student has asked whether it is true that compulsory exchange programs are being considered at the moment for language students.
Well, this is an interesting idea. I don't know whether it's a good idea or not, but I don't know actually whether or not it is being considered. What we do know is that study abroad for credit is something that we would like to see more of. We've created some financial assistance to enable students who wish to pursue that opportunity. But whether or not within the College of Arts, within the language programs, there is further consideration of that, I'm not aware of, but certainly any proposal of that nature would need to address the obvious issues about how such an opportunity might be financed.
In relation to the Arts Change proposal as well, a student has asked, I'd like to know what compensation TAFEs, AMPS and Cultural Studies students will receive in compensation if this gross violation of their contract with the university goes ahead, because it is not something that can be left until after discontinuation. It matters to us and should matter to university management. What is the university's strategic plan and why is it relevant that TAFEs is a fairly recent addition to the courses offered? Is this not a reflection of the direction the university is trying to move, and are we just trying to return the university to the 19th century? So a few questions within that.
Several questions. More of a statement than a question, I think,
so.
probably. So we could note the statement. The issue of the consequences of program closure depends on the options that are available to affected students. Certainly, at this stage, there is no intention for a wholesale cash payout. The question will be, what are the best accommodations to make for the affected students, and what are the consequences of that in terms of the effect on those particular students? So in terms of that group of affected students, that's the way that matter can be dealt with. In terms of whether the university is going to return to the 19th century, the reality is that this university, when established in 1873, was a teeny fraction of what it is today. It was largely funded by private income. It was substantially funded by tenant farmer rentals, and as a consequence, there is no ability, desire, or intention to return the university to its state in the 19th century.
What's the UCSA doing now to help advocate for the students
Good question.
who are currently affected?
So at the moment we're consulting both in terms of with staff that are, so we're understanding the position in terms of what they face. We're talking to students and who are or would be affected by the proposed change to understand their position. We've had UCSA both staff and executive members attend any forums thus far and as continuing. We've made commitments to talk to those students so that we can then take that same feedback not only to senior management of the university when we speak to them, but also the Pro-Vice-Chancellor who's submitted in terms of the change proposal as the decision maker. So we're talking to all the parties so that we can understand the vested stakeholder interests and what we can do about that situation. So at this stage, bearing in mind the proposal came out on Monday and it's Thursday, we're still in the process of talking to all of those people so that we make sure that we're making the best possible representation for those students. So that's the commitment that I give, and that's the commitment that the executive and in particular the College of Arts representative have made, and from that point, we're more than happy to talk to anyone and talk to you about what we can do to help represent you within this situation. I'd like to thank everybody who's given up their time to either pop by or sit in and listen today. What makes it very apparent is that there are big issues before the university, and it's really important that there is consultation. I'd like to thank Dr. Carr for coming along today. It's absolutely in good faith that he gives up his time to talk to the students, and I would like to give him a round of applause and say thank you for his willingness to be here. It is appreciated, and it is testament to the relationship that the UCSA and UC do have in terms of our consultation and our discussion with the university, which is really important as we move forward in its entirety. So thank you, Dr. Carr, for your time today.